Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
SAPD says a suspect is on the run this morning after he shot a man on the city's southeast side.
President Biden says U.S. forces are on track to leave Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. The caveat the president added coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, kind of a repeat from yesterday, but we are getting closer to a chance of rain. That looks exciting.
And good morning to you. We've made it to midweek. It is Wednesday, August 25th.
Hey, thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you've had a great week so far and are, trying to stay cool during the afternoons.
It's time to water the yard for some of us, and I just took a peek at Mike's 7-day forecast. I won't give it away. And Mike's like, really?
That's for you.
But it's looking promising.
Yeah, as far as some rain chances really starting. Now, yesterday we had a couple of, sea breeze showers. He's laughing about that, so I can get him on that. We had a couple of sea breeze showers off to the east. One or two of them are possible today, but really starting tomorrow, we'll see a few more sea breeze showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and then even a couple of more trying to move on in here throughout the rest of the weekend. Right now, you look outside off toward the airport and got our morning clouds hanging around here. 79 in town, Stinson, Canyon Lake, 78 Castroville, and the humidity, yep, it's still there. Of course, it drops down somewhat in the afternoon, then comes back up in the overnight hours. So we do have a somewhat of a heat index right now. 83 Stinson, Canyon Lake, 82 out there at the airport, and mold is still on the low side. And throughout the rest of, oh, by the way, it is a CPS peak energy demand day. So between 2 and 7, if you can lower your energy demand, that would help out. And throughout the rest of the morning, temperatures may drop down another couple of degrees. We'll still be about 3-4 degrees above the normal low temperature. And then same thing later on this afternoon. We're going to be above the normal high temperature by, 2-3 degrees, going for 97 again later on today. Got some new developments, if you will, about the potential in the Gulf and tropics next week. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Mark?
We are anxious to hear about that. Thank you very much, Mike. We begin with late breaking news, a shooting on the city's south side.
Sarah Costa is live in the 500 block of Linda Lou Drive near South Cross with the very latest. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Yeah, and I just spoke with the supervisor on the scene here, and he says that they are currently looking for the suspect, a person who shot a 45-year-old man in the lower back earlier this morning. This is just happening around 3:30 this morning. Now, police say they got that call to the 500 block of Linda Lou. This is on the city's south side. Now, police say a man was walking a couple of blocks down on South Pine Street, which is just a couple blocks away from here, when he was shot in the lower back. He kept walking. When he got here to Linda Lou, that's when he was able to knock on a window of one of the residents, and one of the residents was able to call 911 for help. Now, when we arrived, he was already loaded up in the ambulance and getting transported. Now, police say the 45-year-old victim, he's going to be okay. He was transported in stable condition with a gunshot to his lower back. As for an actual crime scene, they were able to locate a crime scene just a couple blocks away on South Pine Street. Now, we saw Chopper up earlier. As for how much longer they'll be here at this point and as they continue to look for that suspect is not known. Live from the city's south side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. Also this morning, a gunman still on the run after San Antonio police say he shot a man multiple times last night. It happened on Schley Avenue near South Olive and Pine Street on the city's southeast side. Now, officers tell us that the victim was getting into his car when the shooting happened. The suspect then got on his bicycle and left before police got there. The victim in the hospital, and police say his injuries are not life-threatening. Police say once the suspect is caught, that person will be charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
4:34 right now. President Joe Biden says forces are on track to leave Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline.
But it will depend on whether the Taliban cooperates. ABC's Faith Abube has more.
This morning, time is running out for thousands of people hoping to escape the chaos in Afghanistan, where America's longest war will officially end in less than 1 week.
We are currently on a pace to finish by August the 31st. The sooner we can finish, the better. Each day of operations brings added risk to our troops.
President Biden is standing by his August 31st deadline to withdraw troops and evacuate both Americans and the Afghans who helped the U.S. mission. Families desperate to leave have been boarding buses under the cover of darkness. Once at the airport gates in Kabul, fewer than 50 yards separate the final Taliban checkpoint and U.S. forces. The Taliban controls who gets into the airport and who does not.
We're waiting to get through, but they're not letting us at the moment.
On Tuesday, the Taliban announced it's now blocking Afghans trying to leave the country from reaching the airport, claiming it wants to protect people from terrorist threats. More than 70,000 people have been evacuated in the past 10 days, including more than 5,400 Americans. But there are new concerns about where some of the evacuees are being taken. ABC News has learned officials in Qatar are privately warning about a growing crisis at facilities where refugees are being held due to a lack of space, food, and water. And as for that August 31st deadline, President Biden says contingency plans are being developed to adjust the timeline if necessary. But the military will have to start packing up and moving out soon if they're going to meet that deadline. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
House Democrats have passed legislation that would strengthen a landmark civil rights era voting law weakened by the Supreme Court over the past decade. It's a step party leaders are touting as progress in their quest to turn back voting restrictions advanced in Republican-led states. But the bill faces dim prospects in the Senate, where Democrats don't have enough votes to overcome opposition from Republicans. Many GOP leaders say the legislation is unnecessary and a power grab that puts Democrats right back where they started, with slim chances of passing any voting legislation in time for the 2022 midterm elections.
The U.S. Supreme Court says the Biden administration likely violated federal law in trying to end a Trump-era program that forces people to wait in Mexico while seeking asylum in the U.S. With 3 liberal justices in dissent, the high court has refused to block a lower court ruling ordering the administration to reinstate the program informally known as Remain in Mexico. It's not clear how many people will be affected and how quickly. Under the lower court ruling, the administration must make a good faith effort to restart the program. There also is nothing preventing the administration from trying again to end that program.
Healthcare workers across the U.S. are making a desperate plea as they suffer from burnout and fatigue. In Oklahoma City, hospitals are overwhelmed with unvaccinated patients, while in Kentucky, more than 20 hospitals are reporting critical staff shortages. A new report shows COVID deaths are up 23% nationwide just in the last week. The CDC now says unvaccinated people are 29% more likely to be hospitalized than vaccinated people.
And time now is 4:37 and it's about 78 degrees out there.
Still ahead, we'll tell you about some key items being recalled due to consumer safety concerns.
Also next, some big games are on the horizon as high school football kicks off this week. We're going to have a preview coming up.
Are we ready for some football?
Yes, we are.
I think we are. Outside with Live Cam, it's Wednesday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on GMSA. If you have not yet worked your way over to the coffee machine, pour that cup of coffee and stay right here. We'll be back.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Welcome back. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says only 4 or 5 players on his team have yet to be fully vaccinated, and that 100% of the Cowboys staff is. Made those comments during his weekly radio show in Dallas after the NFL team had to place 3 more players into COVID protocols, including star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, now former Cowboy, and now Buffalo Bills receiver Cole Beasley was placed in COVID protocols after coming into contact with a trainer who tested positive. Beasley has been very outspoken about being vaccinated and is not a fan of the NFL COVID protocols. Here's what Jerry had to say about that.
Everyone has a right to make their own decisions regarding their health and their body. I believe in that completely until your decision as to yourself impacts negatively many others. Then the common good takes over.
The big game in our big game coverage this week, number 1 Brennan against number 2 Reagan at Ferris Stadium Friday night. But the 2021 high school football season actually kicks off tomorrow night with Brandeis against Connor, also at Ferris. The Broncos welcoming back 16 starters, 8 each on offense and defense. The team did not make the playoffs last year after being moved to District 28 6A. Meanwhile, O'Connor Panthers are blessed with 10 starters returning, 5 each on offense and defense.
Oh, this week is big. You know, we've known these kids growing up for years, and there's a lot of trash talk going back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's fun being able to play this game.
It's really special, you know. We didn't get to play last year because of COVID, so it's another break as it was like 4 years ago now, and it's a big rivalry. A lot of people show up, a lot of people want to see us play, and we're just as excited.
Kickoff between Brandeis and O'Connor is set for 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Ferris Stadium. Now to Mission's baseball. Even though the team struck out 10 batters, Mission's allowed 9 runs in their series opener against the Midland Rockhounds last night. With several errors and 4 runs scored, Mission's lost to the Rockhounds 9-4. The series continues tonight at 7:05. That's a look at morning sports.
Good luck to Missions. Time now 4:43 and 78 degrees.
Still ahead, several items on this week's recall list. We'll tell you about the products that are affected.
Also next, a hiker who plunged from a waterfall and survived is speaking out about the ordeal. And welcome back. It's about 4:45. A hiker who plunged from a waterfall in Utah is grateful to be alive and is speaking out about his ordeal. ABC's Kaylee Hartung has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a miracle rescue after a horrifying plunge nearly 50 feet off a cliff in Utah.
What was going through your mind as you slipped?
It's been a good ride.
You can see a helicopter hovering over the treacherous terrain in Provo Canyon, airlifting 19-year-old Tanner Perrin to safety.
I immediately said, "Page the team. Let's get up there."
Perrin and his friend Mariah Miller wanted to check out the stunning scenery of Bridal Veil Falls. After a glimpse of the sunset, they started the climb down with what light was left. While crossing a creek bed rocky and wet, Perrin losing his footing.
Almost like slow motion, like my mind was going, oh shoot, you're about to fall.
And I kept thinking, he'll stop. And then he went over an edge.
Coming up at 7 a.m., the important message to other hikers out there. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kaylee Hartung, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Millions of a product called Super Strength magnet balls are being recalled. They're made for adults, but in the hands of children, they can be downright dangerous.
12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris talks about that and more in your recall roundup.
Dangerous attraction. 10 million high-powered magnets are recalled. These are Zen magnets and Neo balls sold in sets. Children tend to put things in their mouths, and if swallowed, the magnets can attract, perforating or twisting the intestines. 2 children had to have surgery to remove part of their bowels. A toddler also died after swallowing similar magnets. Drowning danger. This infant bath seat sold on Amazon last spring is recalled because it doesn't meet stability standards and can tip over. Parents stop using it and contact Frice for a refund. Of course, children should never be left alone in the bath. Millions of devices used by sleep apnea patients are recalled. Philips is recalling certain CPAP and BiPAP machines because the foam may break down, releasing harmful or cancer-causing particles and gases. Philips is making replacements. In the meantime, check with your healthcare provider on whether you should stop using it. We have a link on our website with more information. And Peloton Changes. The company's finally releasing its smaller, lower-priced treadmill next week with new safety features such as a passcode. In May, Peloton recalled millions of treadmills after 1 child died and dozens more were hurt. Sales of the higher-end treadmills are still on pause. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Mike Osterhage is back. And Mike, I know you and your family are celebrating a special birthday today.
And I'm going to be showing a picture a little bit later on.
Okay.
It is my dad's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday to your dad.
He is 94.
94 years young.
Caught up with my mom, both 94. Been married 71 plus years. And
he's one of those guys, so they look good for their age. They really do.
They do. And, you know, some health problems, but they're still chugging along pretty good. So
fantastic.
Yeah, but
what's your dad's name? I know it's Osterhage, but what is it?
Bruce.
Bruce. Happy birthday, Bruce, or shall we say, Mr. Osterhage?
Yes.
If they had a computer, they might be able to watch, but nope. So
well, remember you taught them how to run their VCR, so they're probably recording this.
Maybe. But they're in Florida, so they can't get it. Anyway, what are you laughing at, Kevy, over there? Beautiful picture from yesterday and the sunset, and we still had some of those clouds left over. Despite that, we did hit 97 degrees. There's our morning clouds and enough of a heat index, or enough humidity out there to give us a heat index. 83 Stinson, 82 out there at the airport. There were a couple of sea breeze kind of showers down to our southeast yesterday, and maybe the same situation today, but if you kind of look at the broad picture, you can sort of make out a big clockwise rotation, and that's the high which is sitting on top of us, and that's really been trying to suppress any sort of development of any showers or anything, but that's going to start to move out of the way and break down just a little bit. All right. We're going to address what's going on there in the Eastern and Central Caribbean. Now, one thing that I got to emphasize is, and we've all been talking about this, is there's nothing that's formed up yet. There's no actual low. So until a low actually forms up in the Caribbean, computer models really can't get a good grip on what may or may not happen. So a lot of this is, there are some computer models that are tracking this moving into the Gulf of Mexico, but it can't be pinpointed by any means as of right now. And this is still a week away, but here's what's going on as of right now. That is obviously being watched by the National Hurricane Center. Here's the long-range computer model. Now, going through tomorrow, we will have a couple of showers around here. Like I said, that high, which is sitting on top of us, is starting to kind of weaken a little bit. So that's going to allow some of these showers to move on in here. Then we go into the latter part of the weekend and Sunday into Monday. And this computer model has right now that low moving up pretty much into Louisiana. This was the same computer model that yesterday and a couple of days ago had it staying way down to the south. So that has changed, and it's also now in agreement with this long-range computer model that has basically the same solution, keeping it well up to the east of us, or well over to the east of us. And even some of the spaghetti models, which are sort of in agreement as of right now, have this pretty much staying well to the east of us. But again, this has got a big asterisk next to it, because until, like I said, a low actually forms up, this is kind of educated guesswork as of right now. So definitely something we got to keep an eye on. But for right now, it would be staying to the east of us. That's the kind of consensus as of right now. 89 degrees today, partly cloudy skies at noon, high temperature. Another hot one getting up to 97, heat index into the low hundreds. Now, as the high tends to kind of ease up a little bit, then we start to see a few showers and thunderstorms in here. They're going to be sort of the scattered variety. And of course, we're going to be watching out and see what happens the first part of next week. But temperatures finally get back down to about normal readings, and we will have those scattered showers around here, and the chance of rain really through the middle part of next week.
Looks very nice.
I kind of like those lower temperatures.
I do too.
We definitely do. Thank you, Mike. 452, about 78 degrees.
And still ahead, the music world remembering Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts.
Rolling Stones drummer remembered, plus details on a new Bob Ross documentary.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The music world remembering Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts, who died Tuesday. Elton John says Watts was the ultimate drummer, writing on Twitter that he was also the most stylish of men and such brilliant company. E Street drummer Max Weinberg tweeting Watts was his personal hero. And Beatles great Paul McCartney said Charlie Watts' death will be a huge blow to the Rolling Stones.
Charlie was a rock and a fantastic drummer.
We're told Watts died in a hospital in London. Charlie Watts was 80. And the Emmy is taken away from Andrew Cuomo. The disgraced former governor of New York has been stripped of his Emmy by the TV Academy following his resignation amid sexual harassment allegations. Cuomo was given the special award last year for his COVID-19 press briefings.
Something weird is going on here, and I want to know what it is.
Some new stuff to watch today on FX. It's a new season of American Horror Story, this one called Double Feature. And on Netflix, it's the documentary Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed, a dark story about a happy painter. And actress Blake Lively with a birthday today, she's 34, while Kiss bassist Gene Simmons turned 72. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I went to watch the Bob Ross documentary last weekend. Of course, it wasn't out yet. Today's the day.
And what do you think?
I don't know. I've got to watch it.
Oh, I thought you meant there was like on streaming or something.
No,
it
it
didn't
didn't
come out. No luck.
It didn't come out till today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, now you can.
I found out after the fact that I was looking for a documentary that wasn't streaming quite yet.
You were ahead of the game.
4:57, about 78 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA as schools reopen, the battle over mask mandates continue to stir debate here in Texas and across the nation.
And next time you call for a lift, could this be your ride? What details coming up in Tech Bites?
I wonder if that'll be discounted. Ahead on GMSA at 6, a wildfire raging near Los Angeles is forcing evacuations and school closures. We're going to have the very latest.
And if you are up and at 'em and have to hit the roads at 5, let's see how things are looking right now. If your travels take you at 410 at Fredericksburg, things look fantastic right now. We'll check back with Stephen Cavazos, who's joining us now on the broadcast, coming up here at the top of the hour.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making news this hour as COVID deaths are up 23% nationwide. Healthcare workers across the U.S. are trying their best to help the hardest hit patients.
Shockingly similar weather out there this morning. Maybe fewer clouds overall, but it's a nice start to the day. Good morning. We've made it to Wednesday. It is August 25th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm excited that we're Wednesday and we're closer to Friday, but we're also closer to rain.
Yeah, they get a bit of a bump as far as the chances go. Here's Mike with more.
Yeah, the summertime system, which has moved in on top of us, we haven't really had it around this summer, is going to start to kind of ease up a little bit. And so that will allow some rain chances to start to move on in. There were a couple of sea breeze showers yesterday and maybe one or two today, but rain chances will get pumped up as we head in toward the weekend. 79 degrees right now. And that bottom number, the dew point's at 74, which means, yep, it's a humid morning. 97 again like yesterday, well above normal. The average high temperature now is 95 degrees. The aquifer yesterday, it could use a nice little refresh because it's been dropping down 0.8 of a foot on yesterday's reading, and the allergens mold is on the low side. So enough humidity once again this morning that we have a little bit of a heat index to deal with out there. 82, and yes, heat index readings are going to be well up into the low hundreds again this afternoon. 83 at Canyon Lake, and it's also a peak energy demand day, which means CPS is asking if you can kind of reduce your energy demand between 2 and 7 o'clock this afternoon. That would obviously help out. Warm and humid this morning, sunshine and hot this afternoon. Heard that story before. Then once we get into tomorrow, that's when we'll start to see a couple more showers or a thunderstorm or two sort of scattered about the area. And those rain chances, about 30% give or take, going to be sticking around through the weekend. And also, yes, we are going to continue to watch the tropics, watch the Gulf of Mexico system trying to develop out there in the Caribbean, which is forecast to move into the Gulf. Right now, doesn't look like it's going to have any real direct impact on us, but still, it's a few days off, so got to keep watching it. We will continue to watch. More on the weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Tell us you don't have anything to talk about right now.
You know what? We don't have anything to talk about. Really big on our roadways. Just a little bit of flashing lights out here, Mike, off US 90 at Montgomery. We told you about this yesterday. There was some construction going on out there, and it looks like it's still taking place. You can see, again, we do have a little bit of flashing lights. And yesterday, this construction did lead to some delays in those westbound lanes of US 90. Taking a look right now, though, looks pretty green on the screen, and that seems to be the predominant color that we're watching right now. The roads here in town are looking pretty good, and if you're going to be traveling to the downtown San Antonio area, of course, we do have these inbound times for you. Check them out. Coming in from Bernie on I-10, we have 25 minutes, and 281 looking like 26 minutes at this hour with a 26-minute drive time as well for 35 and New Braunfels. Now, it has been a relatively quiet morning. There haven't been any issues out on the roadways, aside from this construction to keep on the lookout for, and more construction heading your way this weekend, where you can expect that happening coming up here on GMSA. Mark, Stephanie?
Now to an update on late-breaking news. Police searching for the suspect who shot a man on the city's south side this morning.
This is happening in the 500 block of Linda Lou near East South Cross. Sarah Costa is live from the scene. And Sarah, what's the condition of that victim?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Police say that victim, a 45-year-old man, he's going to be okay. He was shot in the lower back, and he is taken to BAMC in stable condition. But just take a look behind me where police are still on scene here. They are collecting evidence and putting down those evidence markers 3 of them have shell casings. The 4th one, a bottle of Big Red. And that's what they're just trying to figure out right now as they continue to search for a suspect. Now, police say just before 4 this morning, they were called out to the 500 block of Linda Lou. When they arrived, they found a victim laying in the street. He told police he'd been walking a couple blocks away on South Pine when someone shot him from behind. He told police he didn't see who shot him, and police don't have a suspect at this time. However, police were able to find a crime scene further down on Pine Street. The victim kept walking after he was shot, tapping on windows of homes in the neighborhood for help. Eventually, a resident called police after they heard the man yelling in the street. When we arrived on scene, we saw their Eagle helicopter flying around, searching for a suspect again. At this time, no suspect has been found. Live from the city's south side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
This morning, a new forecast warns the number of Americans in the hospital with COVID could double by mid-September.
We learned overnight about new precautions being taken across the country. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, frustrated healthcare workers making a desperate plea as they suffer from burnout and fatigue.
The nurses are exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally.
In Oklahoma City, this nurse says hospitals are overwhelmed with unvaccinated patients.
I want Oklahomans to know if they saw what we see every day, they would be in line for the vaccination.
In Kentucky, more than 20 hospitals report critical staffing shortages. In Mississippi, emergency management officials are deploying 1,000 healthcare workers to assist dozens of struggling hospitals. COVID deaths are up 23% nationwide in the last week. And when it comes to hospitalizations, the CDC says unvaccinated people are 29 times more likely to be hospitalized than vaccinated people. The good news is vaccinations are at a 6-week high. The bad news is the Delta variant is taking a toll. Vaccine effectiveness at preventing infection dropped from 91% before the Delta variant to 66% now. But officials insist the vaccines remain highly effective at preventing severe illness, including in pregnant women. And as schools reopen, the battle over mask mandates rages across the country. In Orlando, Florida, masks will be required beginning next week after lengthy talks with parents. Across the country in Oregon, a more drastic measure, a new outdoor mask requirement will take effect Friday. Mona Kassar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Here at home, as families share concerns over COVID-19 cases at schools, school districts are sharing safety plans. One mom with 2 kids at Herff Elementary at Boerne ISD says she and her family are in quarantine after a student in her son's classroom tested positive.
My biggest concern is the lack of precautionary measures being taken by the Boerne School District.
A spokesman for Boerne ISD says as of Friday, August 20th, they had 93 positive COVID cases. The district says it has several mitigation strategies. The district also says it is offering free COVID testing to all students and staff, and they continue to encourage people to wear masks.
We reached out to other large school districts in our area about their plans if major COVID outbreaks were to happen. Northside ISD says it does not have current plans for virtual learning. It will offer remote conferencing for students who are quarantining, where assigned staff will provide online support for a set period of hours each and every day. Northeast ISD said it's offering the same thing. San Antonio ISD says during the first week of school, there were 200 cases of COVID reported. As for contingency plans, it says if an entire class is quarantined, but the teacher is vaccinated, not sick, and not quarantined, the teacher will transition to remote learning. If only a portion of students are quarantined, they will stay connected to the teacher from home.
And time now is 5:08. It's about 78 degrees out there.
Still ahead, details on a move by Sweet Green to acquire Spice, which is a restaurant that uses a fully automated kitchen to make healthy bowls and salads.
Also next, a local survivor of a triple fatal shooting is sharing his story for the very first time.
If you're just now waking up and tuning in, here's how things are looking out there this morning. It's still plenty dark out there. Some morning cloudiness and temperatures hovering at the ever-present upper 70s right now before the sunrise. It's Wednesday, and you're watching GMSA. 512, the survivor of a triple fatal shooting, sharing his story for the first time since he was shot in the face.
Joe Book and his two other friends, Serena Bain and Jonathan Phan, were victims of a shooting in southeast Bexar County. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say that a domestic dispute escalated to that shooting, which critically injured Book and killed both his friends, Serena Bain and Jonathan Phan. Book was airlifted to the hospital and had to undergo reconstructive surgery. He is deaf in one ear and only has 43% of his vision.
I'm not done on this earth. And there's a reason I'm still here, and I think my kids are definitely a part of it. I do hope that Fernando Rojas is blessed in the justice system and that he's touched by an angel.
Book's vision is expected to improve, but his hearing is unknown at this time. Fernando Rojas has been arrested in connection with the crime. Rojas remains in the Bexar County Jail for 2 counts of felony murder.
And time now is 5:13. It's about 78 degrees out there.
Still ahead, Walmart launching a delivery as a service business. We'll tell you how that works.
Plus, why your next Lyft ride could be in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Hey, what will you design today? Poster? Social post? Presentation. Yes. Drag and drop. Customize. Collaborate. Make it your own. And just like that, you can achieve your goals. With Canva, you can. Start designing for free at canva.com.
Is Olay better than your clean beauty? Olay has 99% pure niacinamide. It's derm tested, and now it's cleanest formula with hydration that beats the $400 cream. Tried, tested, never bested. Shop at Olay.com.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50.
I get used to this.
So that's good. Make sure your happiness lives as long as you do. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
16 minutes past the hour. Good morning. Walmart launching a delivery service that will offer last mile delivery to other businesses. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Walmart tries to beat Amazon at its own game. The retailer has created Walmart Go Local to offer logistics and delivery services to other companies. Customers will order from a business, which will then ping Walmart to deliver the product. The salad chain Sweetgreen has purchased Spice, the Boston restaurant known for its automated kitchen, able to cook and serve with no human intervention. Sweetgreen says it's looking to fill orders faster and give its workers more time to focus on preparing food. No word yet on the terms of the deal. And the next ride for some lucky Lyft customers could be in the Wienermobile for free. The rideshare service is teaming up with Oscar Mayer for a 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels. It's only operating in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta from today through Friday. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
That's cute.
I mean, you won't miss it.
No.
Is this my ride? Oh, yeah, it's my ride.
That would be kind of cool. Show up in front of a school or something like that. We don't see any of those on the roadways right now.
Not this morning. Do we, Stephen?
I haven't spotted one just yet. And the only thing that matters is if you get those complimentary hot dogs when you ride the Wienermobile with Oscar Mayer. But who knows? But right now, the roads don't have any hot dogs out there. But we do have several people getting their morning started early with us. Let's go ahead and take a look at TransGuide. You can see here from these shots at TransGuide 1604 Bandera. A little bit quiet, but as I mentioned, we do have a few folks out there getting their morning started early. But let's take a look right now if we are going to be experiencing any issues. And right now you can see there is a lot of green on the screen, but we want to take you over here to US 90 where we do have that construction or road work that is taking place. We told you about this yesterday. It is an overnight deal. We did see some big delays up until 7 a.m. Right now those look like they just are improving with traffic moving at 47 miles per hour, but keep in mind we still do have flashing lights out there, so be sure to move over and slow down as TxDOT crews work to improve the roadways there. And as we look ahead to the weekend, more lane closures you can expect for a bridge demolition that's going to be happening out towards 35. This is going to lead to a full closure of the southbound main lanes right at Watson Lane to Conrad's Lane. It will be taking place Friday, that's August 27th, but should be wrapping up this Saturday, August 28th. Overnight deal, 9 in the evening to 9 in the morning. Roads, though, right now still have a lot of lanes open, and things are looking pretty smooth right now, but I will be keeping my eye out for those Wienermobiles, but I don't think we're going to have any here in San Antonio just yet.
Okay, question.
Not today.
So, somebody gets an Uber or whatever, the Wienermobile, and you're the date that person is picking up.
Don't do it.
Do you ride in it, or do you all of a sudden say, oh, nope, I'm sick?
No, of course you go. That's
I'd
a good
go.
time waiting to happen.
Yeah.
It's a party.
How was your first date? Well, we were in the Wienermobile, so.
No, I think it would be fun.
On a much different note, beautiful day yesterday, yes, at Fort Sam National Cemetery, and Old Glory flying at half staff out there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Got some clouds hanging around here, and boy, it sounds familiar, and it's going to sound familiar later on today. Yesterday we hit 97 degrees, and lo and behold, we're going to be up there again today. Obviously, some triple digits down there to the west and southwest along the Rio Grande Valley, and all around the metropolitan area, it's going to be mid and upper 90s. Here in town at the airport, the average high temperature normal is 95 degrees right now, but of course, we will have the heat index getting well up into the hundreds throughout much of the area, and especially down to the east and southeast. And this is where, you get above 105. Your body just has a tough time kind of cooling itself, so you really got to take it easy. All right, here's a computer model through today, and again, maybe a couple of sea breeze showers. Some of those are going to try and scooch a little bit further to the west and northwest, and they have a hard time doing it. But then we get into tomorrow, and this particular model is fairly, it's not going to be raining everywhere, but it is fairly encouraging as far as the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon tomorrow. Call it about a 30% chance as of right now, and which is not bad. And it's because the atmosphere is starting to change just a little bit. We've had this lid sitting on top of us, but that is getting on out of the picture. And once again, there is this disturbance here. It hasn't even really formed up into a low as of yet. Some computer models as of right now are taking it into the Gulf of Mexico and bending it to the east of us in toward Louisiana, but it's still a wait-and-see situation. We've got to keep watching that situation very, very closely. Here's what's going on with the upper-level steering winds, though, and there's the high, which, again, has not been really a dominant feature most of the summer, but it moved on in here, and that's why we've been on the hot side for the past few days. Then that's going to start to ease on out of here, and so that's what is, it's not like there's any big, strong storm system moving in here, but these little disturbances come in and we don't have that lid on top suppressing anything. So that's why we're getting into the chance for just a couple of showers scattered about the area, little waves coming in from the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days. And then that high is going to be further enough off to the east to allow this low. And this is still, again, forecast to move to the east of us. And we're going to be on the not as rainy side of it, the rainier side of these, or the right-hand side in relation to its direction of travel. But it is going to be sticking around in the area as it looks into about the middle part of next week. So it may keep some rain chances around here. But again, as of right now, we're not on the wet side of that thing, but we got to keep watching it. 89 at noon, partly cloudy skies today. High temperature all the way up to 97. Of course, it's going to feel like it's into the hundreds, and plenty of sunshine out there. Tomorrow, then, I was almost about to say same thing, because I'm used to saying that the past couple of days, but no, we do have a chance for a couple of showers, thunderstorms. That chance is going to stick around in through the weekend. Temperatures will be closer to normal and into next week.
Okay. Stephen, good news. Our producer Hardy has tracked down the nearest Wienermobile is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma right now.
How far is that drive? What, 6,
Still
7?
a while.
It would be a while, but you're not going to see it on our roads this morning.
Only Toledo.
Yeah.
Hot dog, diggity dog.
If you left now, though, was it 5 to Dallas and then...
Apparently, you can track the Wienermobiles on their the Oscar Mayer website.
That's very cool.
Crazy.
I didn't know that.
523, about 78 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, details on Jake Gyllenhaal's Oblivion song, plus a look at a new Julia Child documentary.
All right, in today's entertainment news, a rising Nashville star, French cooking, and the apocalypse.
CNN's David Daniel has all that in the Hollywood Minute.
You could easily respond, and pretend like you're the tough guy, but you're not.
Jake Gyllenhaal is ready for the apocalypse. The actor is set to star in Oblivion Song, based on the graphic novel series about a man trying to rescue people from what's described as an apocalyptic hellscape in Philadelphia. Gyllenhaal will also produce the film with his company, 9 Stories.
Cooking was a world of men.
Women were basically part of the window dressing. You certainly didn't see them teaching.
I'm Julia Child. Welcome to the French Chef.
She changed everything.
We have release info for Julia, the Julia Child documentary from the directors of RBG. The film, featuring never-before-seen footage and personal photos, arrives in LA and New York theaters November 5th.
There was really only one clear winner. And Sarah, that winner was you.
Sarah Faith is going from garage to glory. That's the name of the talent contest run by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Goodyear. More than 80,000 fans voted. As the winner, Faith, a Nashville artist and songwriter, will receive $10,000 in other prizes and the chance to perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Induction Fest in October. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And time now is 5:27 and about 78 degrees out there.
Still ahead, a new report says the U.S. has recently seen more kids test positive for COVID than we have since January. We'll tell you what parents need to know.
And if you like donuts and you are vaccinated, Krispy Kreme has a pretty sweet deal you need to know about.
Plus, a pet over at the Animal Defense League needs a new home this morning. We'll introduce you coming up. That's ahead on GMSA, on GMSA at 6.
They're keeping San Antonio culture alive one wall at a time. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll introduce you to the organization that's had a hand in most of the murals you see. That's coming up in If These Walls Could Talk.
Making headlines this morning, new numbers are out showing many more children are testing positive for COVID-19.
And taking a look outside with live cam, kind of humid out there at 78 degrees, but we are closer to a chance of rain.
And a good morning to you, 5:31 on your Wednesday, August 25th.
Thanks for joining us today. Hope you're having a good week so far. You have time to grab coffee. It's still 5:30, still early.
Time to plan ahead, too, for maybe a shower or storm this weekend, Mike Osterhage.
Yeah, there's going to be a few of them around the area, which is very encouraging. Also, with the extra cloud cover, that's going to help to keep temperatures down. But until then, today is like yesterday and like the day before and so forth and so on. We're starting off basically the same. Upper 70s, above normal. A lot of humidity out there. Dew points in the mid 70s right now. So, yeah, your glasses may be fogging up when you step outside. Mold is on the low side, and it's also a CPS Energy Peak Energy Demand Day. So between 2 and 7, if you can cut back on your energy usage, that would be helpful. And throughout the day, we're going to make it up to 89 at noon, 97 high temperature. Yeah, 1 or 2 of those sea breeze showers. Yesterday, there were a couple of them that got into some of our eastern counties. You can probably count them on one hand. That's going to be the situation today. But yes, rain chances will start to go up. Not a sure thing, but there's about a 30% give or take chance of rain tomorrow through the weekend. And so if you don't get rain one day, you may get it the next day. Plus, we're going to continue to watch what may or may not transpire and happen in the Gulf of Mexico by the first part of next week. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Smooth sailing this morning or driving?
Smooth driving, yeah. Roads are wide open right here, Mike, at Loop 410 at Fredericksburg. Just a few more vehicles out on the roadway. We do have those flashing lights at US 90 at Montgomery where that construction is taking place. But right now, mainly these roads have been wide open. We've not spotted any issues out there. 1604 at Hausman. Getting a few more folks out there this morning as we're now picking up and getting closer to 6 a.m. We know a lot more people will be starting their day with us. But if you are waking up and perhaps running late and trying to rush out the door, there's no need to worry because the roads are looking pretty good so far. We're not seeing any delays right now. And again, that construction, that road work, we should say, that is happening out towards US 90 westbound was leading to a little bit of a slowdown there, but it looks like that has since improved and we got a lot of green on the screen, which is what we like to see. And as we take a look at those inbound times, if you're going to be traveling to the downtown San Antonio area in the next few moments, well, good news. Again, 29 minutes coming in from I-10 in Seguin and 23 minutes on 87 and coming in from Lavernia. And if you are traveling in from Floresville, 28 minutes right now. So the morning is shaping up to be pretty nice. We're going to be keeping our fingers crossed here in the traffic lab and watching the roads closely. And of course, more construction to be on the lookout for. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters are trying to determine what started a fire at a West Side home last night, but a family of 11 is trying to stay optimistic about their future. Alan Morrison says he got a call from his wife that their house was on fire. Morrison says he did not have insurance and lived there with his 3 kids and 6 grandkids. The house is at the corner of Glider Avenue and Gunsmoke, had a lot of damage. Everyone made it out okay, except for some of the family's pets.
The good Lord had our back, you know, we'll figure it out. You know, it's he's in control. It's his plan.
Fire department says they have narrowed the fire to a specific area of the house, and they hope to determine a cause soon.
This morning, a new report shows that COVID is taking a toll on children in a way we haven't seen since January.
CNN's Britt Conway reports.
We're dealing with a much more transmissible virus.
It is spreading quickly among the population, including our children.
We have the most number of children hospitalized yet during this pandemic.
In fact, new data shows kids are testing positive for COVID-19 at levels we haven't seen since last winter's surge. Already this week, Mississippi reported the state's only children's hospital has a record number of pediatric COVID-19 cases. In South Carolina, the ACLU filed a lawsuit challenging the governor's ban on face mask mandates in schools. In Kentucky, after court order, the governor there rescinded his school mask mandate.
A district in Kentucky that went back for 3 days masking optional and had 700 quarantines.
In Florida, so far this school year, among the 15 largest school districts, there were more than 14,000 student and employee COVID-19 cases and nearly 30,000 people quarantined. And for Tennessee-based Ballad Health,
more than a third of the positive tests that we're doing now are children under the age of 18. And as that continues to happen, and they're spreading it in schools, some of them are bringing it home to their families.
But there's still no approved vaccine for kids under 12.
In the meantime, it really is so important for us to increase vaccinations for adults.
And experts hope the FDA's approval of Pfizer's vaccine for people 16 and up will help make that happen. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
The House of Representatives took a big step Tuesday in helping President Biden achieve a signature agenda item. Lawmakers approved a $3.5 trillion budget plan, paving the way for Democrats to pass legislation expanding the social safety net. The House voted on a rule to advance both the budget deal and a separate $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. Lawmakers have outlined 4 main categories they plan to invest in with the budget resolution. That includes funding for things like pre-K, affordable housing, and dental, vision, and hearing benefits.
The FAA is investigating if Boeing employees are being pressured on safety issues. Investigators want to know if Boeing interferes with employees tasked with flagging safety problems with aircraft. The FAA says it conducted a study with some of them and received response from 35% that indicate their work environment does not support independence. Boeing says it's working with the FAA to make sure its employees have what they need. The company's process has attracted new interest since 346 people died in 2 Boeing 737 MAX plane crashes in 2018 and 2019.
The National Rifle Association is canceling its annual meeting because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The group says the event and other associated meetings to be held the first week of September in Houston were called off due to, quote, concern over the safety of our NRA family and community. Houston is among the cities in the U.S. seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases. The NRA says it consulted with local officials and medical professionals before coming to the final decision to cancel. The NRA's next event is set Celebration of Freedom in Louisville in May of 2022.
Right now it's just about 5:38, still 78 degrees.
And still ahead why you may see more people on your vacation despite pandemic concerns.
And next, how Krispy Kreme is sweetening the deal for those who have received a COVID vaccine.
And taking a look outside with live cam, no rain there, but we are excited about the chance later this week. But for now, this afternoon, sunny and hot. We'll be right back. In your morning consumer headlines, the future is looking bright for short-term rental owners and investors. According to Guesty, a rental management platform, vacation reservations are up 122% higher than this time last year. Nightly rates have also jumped more than 30%. According to the report, Labor Day rental prices are also higher than July 4th. For Thanksgiving, the average rate per night has increased and is now a jaw-dropping $436. That's because consumers are booking larger properties with amenities and focusing on resort areas, which are more expensive.
Krispy Kreme offering twice the treats to people who get vaccinated against COVID. Customers with proof of vaccination already can get a free donut every day for a whole year. Now that the FDA has approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, Krispy Kreme is sweetening the deal. From August 30th to September 5th, it's giving away 2 donuts a day to people who can prove they've gotten the shots. It's even making heart-shaped ones to help celebrate.
The Disney Cruise Line is setting some ground rules as the pandemic continues. The cruise company has made the vaccine mandatory for anyone taking trips to the Bahamas starting September 3rd. The mandate will continue through November 1st and is for everyone 12 and older. Children under 12 will have to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken 5 days to 24 hours before the sail date. They will also have to take a second test at the terminal before boarding.
Move over, pumpkin spice latte. Starbucks has another autumnal choice on the menu. It is the apple crisp macchiato, available as an ice or hot drink. Starbucks says it's supposed to taste like eating baked apple pie while drinking coffee. It's on the menu for a limited time. The company has been offering its famous pumpkin spice latte each fall since 2003. Oh, we're there.
That looks great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, good options.
I'm going to try to have to head over there between shows today.
Yeah, it's pretty close to us. We can handle that.
Yes, we can. 542, about 78 degrees. Glad you're with us.
Up next, we're checking in with the Animal Defense League and a pet that needs a new home.
It is cuddly time because this little puppy's got his own little blanket, and Michelle is here from the Animal Defense League.
Hello.
Who is this little one?
So I am here with Mr. Wyatt. Wyatt is a 2-month-old Labrador Retriever mix. He has been in our shelter for actually a couple of weeks now. He was part of a big litter, and he's one of our last ones standing. He's such a sweetheart.
He's just got that little boy face on him. He's just like, oh yes, I just want to be, in the paws, and he's gonna be a big boy.
He will. Medium to medium large. He is one of the larger ones of his litter, so I think he'll remain kind of on the medium side.
But nice short coat, easy to take care of. Tennis ball in the backyard, as I always say, and he and the kids are going to sleep good.
He's such a cuddle
wear
bug.
each other out. So what do you have going on?
So this week we will be having an adoption special. We encourage everyone to check out our website, adltexas.org, to see who of our population is going to qualify. And we have a lot of events coming up as well. We always encourage everyone to follow our social media pages and see what we have going on. We're excited to get back into the world.
And you are just excited to get going, aren't you? And get adopted. And if you would like to adopt this little guy or any of the other puppies and kittens out there, head on over to 11300 Nacogdoches or the Paul Jolly Center across from the zoo. Give them a call at 655-1481. Or like Michelle said, go to all of your social media pages.
Absolutely.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Oh, no puppers.
Oh, cute.
546.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen. It looks like there's flashing lights out there at I-10 and Medical.
Someone's having car troubles. We start seeing these stalls popping up as we inch closer to 6 a.m. And here at I-10 and Medical, we do have somebody experiencing some trouble, but it does look like they are receiving some assistance. Possibly, it looks like a TxDOT Hero truck out there. Again, this is along I-10 at Medical. You can see that person does have their emergency lights blinking right now. So just be sure to move over and slow down so they can receive that assistance and get to where they need to be safely. But taking a look at our maps, this is over in the eastbound lanes right at Medical Drive. Very early on, we're not seeing any issues with stalls causing delays, but we are seeing more of those stalls taking you up here towards 35 northbound right at Schertz Parkway. Looks like our system just picked it up. A stall reported there as well, so check those vehicles before you hit the roadways. We also want to take you all the way over here to the Guadalupe County line where some construction has been ongoing out here towards FM 1681, bringing you here to this graphic. Some roadway repairs that are leading to a full closure in both those directions. It's 3 miles north of FM 1681 right to Zion Hill Road. It has been ongoing, but should be wrapping up by Friday. That's August 27th. I thought that was tomorrow. Shoot. But it has been ongoing. Starts from 8 in the morning to 7 in the evening. So something to be on the lookout for as we get a little bit later into the morning. And if that's in your route, but if you are going to be traveling down I-10 again in those eastbound lanes, just be sure to move over and slow down. And again, check those vehicles before you hit the roadways.
Close count, Stephen.
Yeah. Almost. I woke up thinking today was Thursday.
Yeah, we always hope it's Friday.
Yeah.
That's okay,
We
Stephen.
almost always do. Mike, I tell you what, our viewers have really raised the game when it comes to color and brilliance in their photography.
Very vibrant.
Yeah, it almost doesn't look real because it's so, not only the color on that flower, but that butterfly as well. That's just a gorgeous, gorgeous picture. I saw the biggest butterfly yesterday flying around right around some of the plants on the deck there. That thing, I swear to goodness, was about 4 inches wingspan. It was huge, but great looking picture. Thank you very much for that one. All right, clouds starting off this morning, smattered around the area. 79 degrees, same thing at Randolph, Stinson 78, also Canyon Lake and Castroville. Humidity, you get these dew points, measure moisture in the atmosphere, best way to describe it. 74, 75. 65s. Yeah, that's fog up glasses. So we do have somewhat of a heat index right now, and add pretty much 80, 82 or so, add roughly 20 degrees to those numbers, and that's what it will feel like later on this afternoon. So much of the area is going to have the heat index, except in the hill country, but up into the low hundreds. We will see the humidity go through that usual cycle, so it will be dropping down somewhat in the afternoon. But of course, when those temperatures are up in the upper 90s, doesn't take much to add to that heat index. Then the humidity is going to come back tomorrow morning, of course, and we'll go through that same process. Now, as far as rain chances, we are going to start to see the overall pattern is going to break down a little bit. We're into obviously a summer pattern. High pressure sitting on top of us, not letting anything really develop. Of course, there were a couple of sea breeze showers yesterday, but what's going to be happening over the next few days is we will have a few of these showers, and I'm scooching this map over a little bit so you can see where the potential is for the system in the Caribbean, which hasn't even really formed up into a low as of yet. So computer models don't have a really good grasp on its exact path. However, this particular computer model has started to change. Yesterday, it was keeping it well to the south of us, and now, going into Monday and the first part of next week, this particular long-range computer model has that low staying well off to the east of us, heading in toward, say, New Orleans, then moving up into Louisiana. Also, another long-range computer model has the same solution, keeping it well off to the east of us. But again, this is still, almost a week away, and until that really forms up into a low, can't get a real finite forecast on that. So still got to keep watching it. 89 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature, yep, another hot one, getting up to 97. Heat index into the hundreds once again. A sea breeze shower, in some of our eastern counties can't be completely ruled out. Better chance of rain then, 30% we'll call it, give or take here and there, tomorrow through the weekend and into the first part of next week. So, of course, not everybody's going to get rain every day, but the odds are there that you may see showers over the next, say, 4 or 5 days. And we'll keep watching what may or may not develop there in the Caribbean and move into the Gulf.
We can share those rain chances with everyone. Everyone will get a turn.
Sure. As long as it's first in my backyard.
We see how this works. 5:51, about 78 degrees on your Wednesday morning.
And it's been nearly 30 years since Candyman first terrified moviegoers. A spiritual sequel to the original fright flick hopes to scare audiences again. We're going to have a preview next.
Going to scare up some lottery numbers first, though. Pick 3, number 771, Fireball 8. Daily 4, number 6191, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 7, 14, 24, 25, 30. And your Mega Millions, 17, 18, 26, 52, 67, Mega Ball 19, Mega Plier 2. Good luck, guys.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, the COVID crisis, the latest on the pandemic and the signs of hope. 6 million vaccinations have been given to Americans in the last 7 days. This as the CDC predicts hospitalizations could double in a month, with states like Arkansas now running out of ICU beds and Mississippi and Alabama seeing their deadliest days of the pandemic. That plus much more coming up on GMA. We'll see you all soon.
Urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
The urban legend is back to scare a new generation in Candyman.
Candyman. I grew up with Candyman, with the myth of Candyman in my household. My earliest memory is in the bathrooms with the lights off, playing the Candyman game with my sisters. How many times we could say it before somebody, brought us back to our senses. You know what I'm saying? I never did finish it.
Candyman.
Don't say that.
I knew about the urban legend of Candyman and about saying his name 5 times in the mirror, and I made sure that I never did that. Now, when it comes to watching the film, and I never watched it because I think maybe it's because being a Black man in America, I just experienced enough, trauma on the daily basis. So I stayed away from it. But once I got cast and I knew that what Jordan Peele was doing with this spiritual sequel, I wanted to go to the source material and really check it out.
Directed by Nia LaCosta and co-written by Oscar-winning screenwriter Jordan Peele, the movie is more than simple horror.
I thought we had a great opportunity to show this young Black, very ambitious couple. And when we start off, we see the love they have for each other, the encouragement, and then to watch how they deal with things that may go awry.
You look up at Candyman. He's the monster that's part of this neighborhood.
Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Well, someone in San Antonio has hit it big. A lucky winner was able to win a $3 million prize off a scratch-off ticket. It's the second of 4 top-tier prizes to be claimed for that game. Right now on KSAT.com, you can check out where that winning scratch-off ticket was sold. Head in the next hour, GMSA. Dallas Cowboys getting ready for their matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll tell you how the coronavirus could affect their roster this weekend. Plus, we'll have the latest on the crisis in Afghanistan. President Biden saying U.S. forces are still set to leave by the end of this month. TransGuide right now, we have some activity and increased traffic at I-10 near Probat. Our traffic expert, Stephen Cavazos, will have the very latest information. And rain in Mike coming up. This morning, the world reacting to the death of Rolling Stones drummer Charlie Watts. We'll have more.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're looking at 78 degrees, not too bad. That's like the calm before the storm, I guess, before we get the heat. Whoa, look at the camera. Good morning, guys. It's Wednesday.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
That's odd. That's actually a camera we control.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like,
good
wait.
morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It is August 25th. We're just seeing if you're paying attention.
Yeah, we're just like messing with you. Yeah, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. You do have time to get coffee. I always say that. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
You do have time. We're going to check out the roads in just a minute, but Mike is here with more on some rain chances popping up. Yes, sir. Man in the gray suit.
Was that you?
That was, yeah, I thought they had a different live cam popped up, so that's why I was suggesting that one.
Proud of you for admitting it. You could have seen how much longer we were perplexed.
Well, it's just far enough around the corner over there that you really can't see me, so I look
That was kind of fun. Let's do that again.
Okay, run over there and do it anyway. Run over there, Steph. It's just
yeah,
move it to the side. Anyway, cool. We're not really seeing the glow of the sunrise as of yet. It comes up just after 7 o'clock. We've got some morning clouds hanging around here, and once again, some fairly dry air upstairs in the atmosphere. This somewhat darker shade of gray, which means we're going to have a lot of blue skies out there, but we'll still have some clouds hanging around like the past couple of days, although not enough to really block out the sun enough to keep us from getting up into the upper 90s. Mold is on the low side this morning, and the updated count's going to be coming out at just after 7 o'clock or so. CPS Energy, peak energy demand day. If you can lower your energy usage between 2 and 7 o'clock, that would help out. Temperatures going to stay in the upper 70s this morning, about 4, almost 5 degrees above normal. And then by noontime, we'll make it up into the upper 80s. Plenty of sunshine, still a few of those clouds hanging around here, and you can't completely rule out a stray sea breeze shower or two, but those aren't going to be very likely, just 1 or 2 of them here and there. 97 for a high temperature, of course, is going to feel like the low hundreds. Things are starting to change, or will start to change tomorrow as far as some rain chances moving on in here. We'll talk about that and take a closer look at the weekend forecast. Traffic Authority, Steve Cavazos. It's been kind of quiet up to now. Anything big?
You know, y'all, it's some morning of stalls. I-10 at Medical. We showed you this a little bit earlier. We still have that driver out there that is receiving from some assistance from a TxDOT Hero truck crew member out there. So, of course, use that caution. It does appear that this is out toward the shoulder lane. We do have some road flares out there indicating to take it easy when we do have those flashing lights. And as we mentioned, there have been a few stalls. We're going to go ahead and take you to a different one that we showed you just before we went to commercial break. This is off US 90 westbound at Proban, just near I-10. That stall has since cleared out, but traffic is increasing. And again, more of those stalls are popping up here. This one reported, as we told you about earlier, I-10 eastbound at Medical Drive, still out there. And we still have this stall that's up here towards 35 northbound at Schertz Parkway. Of course, as we always like to remind you, check those vehicles. Roads can be a little bit treacherous if you have to pull over on the highway. And of course, reach out to the TxDOT Hero program. They're a really great tool there if you do experience those problems on the road. road. Taking a look at these inbound times, they are pretty good right now. If you're going to be traveling to the downtown San Antonio area, 28 minutes from 37 in Pleasanton, 17 minutes from 35 in Lytle, and we're looking at 19 coming in from Highway 90 and Castroville. One last look at TransGuide. Lots of flashing lights out there this morning. Take it easy. We're watching things closely. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, a man was shot while walking on the city's south side near South Cross.
This happened in the 3,500 block of Pine Street. Sarah Costa takes us to the scene for the latest.
Good morning, and police are currently on the 3,500 block of South Pine Street, where they are continuing to search for evidence of the suspect who shot this man early this morning. Right now, they are putting down evidence markers for shell casings. What we know at this time is police say they were called out to the 500 block of Linda Lou just before 4 this morning. When they arrived, they found the victim laying in the street. He told police he'd been walking a couple of blocks away here on South Pine Street when someone shot him from behind. He told police he didn't see who shot him, and police don't have a suspect at this time. However, police were able to find a crime scene on Pine Street. The victim kept walking after he was shot, tapping on windows of homes in the neighborhood for help. Eventually, a resident called police after they heard the man yelling in the street. Police say he had a gunshot wound to his lower back. That 45-year-old man, police say he is going to be okay. At one point, they had their Eagle helicopter up searching for a suspect. At this time, still, they don't have anyone. From the city's south side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
A shooting survivor sharing his story for the first time since he was shot in the face. 28-year-old Joe Book and his two other friends, Serena Bain and Jonathan Fan, were the victims of a shooting in southeast Bexar County back on August 4th. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say a domestic dispute escalated into the deadly shooting, injuring Book and killing Bain and Fan. Book was airlifted to a hospital and had to undergo reconstructive surgery. He's now deaf in one ear and only has 43% of his vision, but he says he is thankful to be alive.
I'm not done on this earth, and they're the reason I'm still here, and I think my kids are definitely a part of it. I do hope that Fernando Rojas is blessed in the justice system and that he's touched by an angel.
Fernando Rojas was later arrested as the suspect in the shooting. He remains in the Bexar County Jail for 2 counts of felony murder.
Happening tonight, a candlelight vigil will be held for Damien Daniels, a combat veteran who was shot and killed by a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy. Daniels was killed 1 year ago during an incident that started off as a mental health check. His family, who lives out of state, had called for help after they say Daniels was suffering from a mental health episode. Sheriff Javier Salazar said Daniels was armed and aggressive, and a deputy eventually shot and killed Daniels after a 2-minute struggle. The family says they have a different story. The vigil will be held tonight at 8:15, and it will be outside of Daniels' home at 11,207 Liberty Field. As families share concerns over COVID-19 cases at schools, school districts are sharing safety plans. One mom with 2 kids at Herff Elementary at Boerne ISD says she and her family are in quarantine after a student in her son's classroom tested positive for COVID-19.
My biggest concern is the lack of precautionary measures being taken by the Boerne School District.
A spokesman for Boerne ISD says as of Friday, August 20th, they had 93 positive COVID cases. The district says it has several mitigation strategies and it's offering free COVID testing to all students and staff members. The district also continues to encourage people to wear masks.
We reached out to other large districts in our area about their plans if major COVID outbreaks happen. Northside ISD says it does not have current plans for virtual learning. We'll offer remote conferencing for students who are quarantining, where assigned staff will provide online support for a set period of hours each day. Northeast ISD says it's offering the same thing. San Antonio ISD says the first week of school there were 200 cases of COVID reported. As for contingency plans, it says if an entire class is quarantined but the teacher is vaccinated, not sick, and not quarantined, the teacher will transition to remote learning. If only a portion of students are quarantined, they say they'll stay connected to their teacher from home. Looking around the country, the new forecast warns the number of Americans in hospitals with COVID could double by mid-September.
We learned overnight about new precautions being taken. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, frustrated healthcare workers making a desperate plea as they suffer from burnout and fatigue.
The nurses are exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally.
In Oklahoma City, this nurse says hospitals are overwhelmed with unvaccinated patients.
I want Oklahomans to know if they saw what we see every day, they would be in line for the vaccination.
In Kentucky, more than 20 hospitals report critical staffing shortages. In Mississippi, emergency management officials are deploying 1,000 healthcare workers to assist dozens of struggling hospitals. COVID deaths are up 23% nationwide in the last week. And when it comes to hospitalizations, the CDC says unvaccinated people are 29 times more likely to be hospitalized than vaccinated people. The good news is vaccinations are at a 6-week high. The bad news is the Delta variant is taking a toll. Vaccine effectiveness at preventing infection dropped from 91% before the Delta variant to 66% now. But officials insist the vaccines remain highly effective at preventing severe illness, including in pregnant women. And as schools reopen, the battle over mask mandates rages across the country. In Orlando, Florida, masks will be required beginning next week after lengthy talks with parents. Across the country in Oregon, a more drastic measure, a new outdoor mask requirement will take effect Friday.
Monaco Sarabdi, ABC News, New York.
Right now it's 6:09, about 77 degrees.
Now, streaming on KSAT Explains, this week's episode of KSAT Explains is all about the foster care system, how it's supposed to work, the ways in which it's failing, and what each of us can do to help. You can watch that episode now on KSAT.com or the KSAT TV app.
And the world loses another iconic star. We'll take a look back at the life and legacy of rock and roll drummer Charlie Watts. We'll get to those stories in a few minutes, but first, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says only 4 or 5 players on his team have yet to be fully vaccinated for coronavirus, but 100% of the staff is vaccinated. Cowboys will host the Jaguars this weekend in the next preseason matchup. Missions come up short in their series opener at home last night against the Midland Rockhounds. Even though the Mission struck out 10, they also allowed 9 runs and ended up falling to Midland 9-4. Missions try to bounce back tonight. The series will continue at Wolf Stadium at 7:05. High school football heating up. Madison Mavericks will be taking on the Clemens Buffaloes at Linhoff Stadium tomorrow night at 7. You can watch it live on MeTV. And we've got you covered all things high school football. Head on over to KSAT.com and search for big game coverage. We'll keep you updated on games, scores, highlights, streams, and schedules.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, a humid start to your day, but we're excited about rain chances later in the week. We're going to be talking with Mike later on.
6:14, welcome back and good morning. His percussion was the foundation of the Rolling Stones. Charlie Watts, the band's unassuming but bedrock drummer, has died at the age of 80.
His solid style may have been unpretentious, but it was the essential engine that helped drive the Stones to international stardom.
ABC's Will Gans has more.
This morning, the music world celebrating the life of Charlie Watts, the man who put the rock into rock and roll.
Charlie was a rock and a fantastic drummer, steady as a rock.
Watts, the longtime drummer of the Rolling Stones, playing alongside Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood.
Charlie Watts was not showy. He played in the back of the band. He didn't take long drum solos, but he was the heart and soul of that band.
Watts was born in Wembley in the UK in 1941. His parents said he was a pint-sized percussionist even then, tapping out tunes on the table with pieces of wood or a knife and fork, until his parents finally bought him a drum kit at the age of 14. Watts joining the Stones in 1963 with the band for such hits as Painted Black, Aftermath, and I Can't Get No Satisfaction. In addition to his musicianship, Watts became well known as a fashion plate. On Tuesday, Elton John calling Watts the most stylish of men and such brilliant company. Posh, maybe, but not always poised. The legendary drummer once reportedly punched Mick Jagger in the face at a hotel in Amsterdam after an inebriated Jagger said to Watts, "You're only my drummer." The duo going on to make amends and going on to make music together for decades. His 3 Rolling Stones brothers paying tribute in photos this morning. From Ronnie Wood to Mick Jagger And Keith Richards tweeting this photo of a drum set and a sign reading closed. Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
6:16.
Go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos as things kind of pick up there on the roadways.
Yeah, and if you can spot it there, Mark and Steph, we did have some flashing lights out there a little bit earlier. It looked like the stalled vehicle that we talked about had cleared out, but if you take a closer look right there, we do still have those flashing lights out there, blinking emergency lights, so it does indicate a driver is experiencing some sort of trouble along the highway here and I-10, and it is picking up. US 90 westbound, though, near I-10 is where that is being reported on TxDOT's website, so use some caution driving through that area. As we've been mentioning, it has been a morning of stalls. Now that we are in the 6 a.m. hour and inching closer to the rush hour, another stall still out here off I-10 eastbound at Medical Drive. And we've been seeing them popping up and clearing out. There was one toward 35 at Schertz Parkway northbound that just cleared from our system. So that's good news. But of course, if you are experiencing some of those troubles on the highways, TxDOT Hero program, just as a reminder, guys, services a provider, adding gasoline and water, performing minor vehicle repairs, jump-starting batteries, and even providing drinking water and cell phone service to stranded motorists. And again, you must be stranded along a highway like I-10 to receive that assistance. And we see those TxDOT Hero trucks out there whenever those stalls do pop up. And we have the shots at TransGuide. So big resource there. They're number 210-732-HERO. Taking one last look at TransGuide. I-10 at ProBand, we do have a stretch of lights indicating it is getting a little bit busier. But can they expect weather-wise? Mike, I feel like hot has been your favorite word.
Yeah, and that's going to continue. Hot again today, although we are going to start to see some changes really coming into the picture tomorrow. Today, we're starting off like we have every other day, mid and upper 70s. We're about 4 or 5 degrees above the normal, the average low temperature. We're going to make it up to 97 today, just like yesterday. And of course, it's going to feel like it's up into the low hundreds later on today. Beautiful picture. This picture almost doesn't look real. It's that vivid and the colors from it. But yeah, a sunset from the south side yesterday. Great looking shot. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Clouds hanging around here right now. It looks like it's maybe beginning to lighten up ever so slightly. We had a couple of those pop-up showers yesterday in some of our south and eastern counties. Can't rule those out again today. And sort of step back and look, you can kind of make out clockwise rotation around us. That's that high, which really hasn't been a dominant feature throughout most of the summer, but now it's been kind of plunked down on top of us, puts a lid on the atmosphere, causes the atmosphere to sink, helps it to heat up, and that suppresses really any showers from developing other than those stray sea breeze showers. And really around the country, there's not a heck of a lot going on. Eastern Atlantic Ocean. First of all, you can see all those disturbances there right along the middle part of Africa, which is coming off the coast. And this is where a lot of the tropical systems are born. There's a few areas, one right here just to the west of the Cape Verde Islands that the Hurricane Center is watching, also in the middle of the Atlantic. And then this spot right down there in the Caribbean. It hasn't even formed up into a low yet. So until it does, really can't get a firm hold on what it may or may not do. As of right now, some of the computer models, early projections are keeping it well to the east of us. But of course, once this does finally form up into low, a lot of this could potentially change. So this is one thing we definitely have to keep watching. So you can't take any sort of a forecast written in stone as of right now as far as what that may or may not do. However, that high, which has been kind of sitting on top of us, is going to start to weaken and move out of the way. So that's what's going to allow some showers to move into the forecast over the next couple of days. 89 degrees today at noon, 97 high temperature. Again, heat index is going to be up into the low hundreds throughout much of the area. Then tomorrow, we start to see a few more, other than a sea breeze shower today, but a slightly better chance for some rain tomorrow. And then going in through the weekend, of course, it's not going to rain everywhere every day, but at least with those rain chances in the forecast each and every day, odds are you may, 1, 2, 3 of those days see some rain, and we'll keep watching what may or may not happen down there in the tropics.
For low percentages, that's fairly consistent chance every day.
Yeah, and it's just because, again, that the thing that's been kind of sitting on top of us, that dome is moving away, so that allows little disturbances, little things to pop up in the afternoon. So that's what we're looking at.
We like those consistent chances.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
As opposed to consistent heat.
Yes.
621, about 77 degrees.
And it was a dramatic rescue off a steep cliff in Utah. That's ahead in your GMA First Look.
At home with Robert, retired burglar. Neighbor and family man.
Setting up Simply Safe is so easy. You could do it blindfolded. But I wouldn't recommend it. Anyone can do it in less than 30 minutes.
Welcome to Simply Safe.
No tools or wiring needed, and voice prompts guide you.
Motion sensor detected.
Well, that was easy.
Had enough? No. Arthritis. Here, new Krispy Kreme arthritis. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Thank the gods. Don't thank them too soon.
Kick pain in the Krispy Kreme. Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals. Now introducing Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a miracle rescue after a horrifying plunge nearly 50 feet off a cliff in Utah.
What was going through your mind as you slipped?
It's been a good ride.
You can see a helicopter hovering over the treacherous terrain in Provo Canyon, airlifting 19-year-old Tanner Perrin to safety.
I immediately said, page the team. Let's get up there.
Perrin and his friend Mariah Miller wanted to check out the stunning scenery of Bridal Veil Falls. After a glimpse of the sunset, they started the climb down with what light was left. While crossing a creek bed, rocky and wet, Perrin losing his footing.
Almost like slow motion, like my mind was going, oh shoot, you're about to fall.
And I kept thinking, he'll stop. And then he went over an edge.
Coming up at 7 a.m., the important message to other hikers out there. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kaylee Hartung, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In today's Tech Bites, Walmart tries to beat Amazon at its own game. The retailer has created Walmart Go Local to offer logistics and delivery services to other companies. Customers will order from a business, which will then ping Walmart to deliver the product.
And the next ride for some lucky Lyft customers could be in the world-famous Wienermobile for free. The ride-sharing service teaming up with Oscar Mayer for a 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels. It's only operating in New York, Chicago, L.A., and Atlanta today through Friday.
And where was it again? Oklahoma?
Right. This morning, one of them's in the closest to us is Oklahoma City.
All right. Fun times. Time now 6:26 and about 77 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need help solving a case. They're looking for a shooting suspect. We'll have more details.
And the coronavirus hitting kids hard. New data shows children are testing positive for COVID-19 at levels we have not seen since last winter's surge.
Wondering what's happening on the roads? Wonder no more. We'll check back in with Steven Cavazos after the break.
Police have new information about the suspect who shot at a man while at a Taco Bell drive-thru this weekend. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up on GMSA, we show you the surveillance photos.
President Biden says U.S. forces are on track to leave Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. The caveat the president added, coming up.
Firefighters on the West Coast scrambling to contain a massive wildfire that's forcing new evacuations. We're going to have the very latest.
Outside with live cam, the blue and orange hues of a Wednesday morning sunrise. Out there looking towards the east and northeast. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It's August 25th.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're having a great week. And we're excited because it's closer to Friday. And we're excited because there's a chance of rain.
And it's over a couple of days.
Yeah, really starting tomorrow, we'll have, albeit a small, but a chance of rain all the way through the weekend and then into the first part of next week, because the pattern wind right now is going to start to change a little bit. And so therefore, that's going to allow some of those showers to pop up. Yeah, good looking start this morning. We'll see a few more clouds hanging around here as the morning rolls on, then a lot more sunshine later on today. 78 right now, so we're still about 4 above normal, and the dew point is at 74, which means, a bunch of humidity, so don't be deceived by that beautiful picture out there. Mold is on the low side, and it is a CPS energy demand day, so if you can cut back on your energy usage between 2 and 7 o'clock throughout the afternoon hours, that would help out. Warm and humid this morning, and then plenty of sunshine. Going to be hot again today. And again, the heat index is going to be well up into the low hundreds. Tomorrow, a couple of showers or a thunderstorm going to be possible. 30% chance for some rain. But again, the overall pattern is starting to change just a little bit. So that's going to allow that chance of rain to stick around in through the weekend and first part of next week. There is it's not even a low yet. It's just kind of a disturbance in the Caribbean, which is forecast to work its way through the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. So that is something that we are definitely keeping an eye on. We'll have a detailed look at the weekend forecast and what that may or may not do coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, Mike. Well, we do have some stalls to talk about. I-10 at Proban shows a pretty busy start this Wednesday, but if you take a closer look, we do have some flashing emergency lights right there off on the shoulder lane. Now, this person was receiving assistance. We saw some other flashing lights out there, possibly one of those TxDOT Hero trucks, but right now those are now gone. And again, we do have those flashing lights out there. Unclear if the driver is still in the vehicle, but just use caution driving through that area. Move over and slow down. That's all reported here off US 90 westbound near I-10 right at Proban. As you just saw, it is picking up with traffic. And as we continue to look at the screen, another stall reported here off I-35 southbound at Somerset. It's not causing any delays right now, although it is picking up traffic-wise. We're not seeing any issues, so plenty of time to head out that door and grab a cup of coffee before your day gets going. And we do have a little bit of a slowdown there off US 90, some construction that hopefully will be wrapping up momentarily. Inbound times are looking really good if you plan on traveling to the downtown San Antonio area in the next few moments. Coming in from I-10 and Bernie, 24 minutes, 26 on 281 and Bulverde. And if you are coming in from New Braunfels on 35, 26 minutes at this hour. And one last look at traffic. A different shot here at I-10 at Proban. Looks like the sun's peeking out, but we're watching things closely. Mark, Steph?
Thank you, Stephen. Now to an update we first told you about on GMSA. Early Sunday morning, a late night trip to a Taco Bell drive-thru took a turn for the worse after a man was shot twice while waiting in line, according to San Antonio police.
Sarah Acosta is live downtown with new information from police about the suspect. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, when that shooting happened on Sunday night, police were not given a description of the suspect, but now police have surveillance footage from the Taco Bell of that scene that night. Just take a look at your screen. What you're looking at are photos of the suspect's car that drove off after firing several rounds at the victim's vehicle. Police are now asking the community if you know who drives this car. Police say the suspect's vehicle should have damage to the left front side of it. The incident happened around 12:45 a.m. Sunday at a Taco Bell in the 11,000 block of Petrenko Road. Police say the man was ordering his food when another vehicle pulled up beside him. The man and the other driver had an exchange of words before several shots were fired at the man's vehicle, police say. The man was hit twice by the gunfire in his upper body. When officers arrived, EMS treated the man. He was taken to University Hospital, and at last check, he is in stable condition, police say. Now, the suspect drove off from that scene, so if you have any information about the whereabouts of the suspect, you are urged to call their Crime Stoppers tip line, 224-STOP. If your tip leads up to an arrest, you may be able to earn up to $5,000 in cash. Live from downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. Also new this morning, a Guadalupe County Sheriff's deputy who resigned in May after an incident involving an intoxicated teenage girl has yet to face criminal charges. Deputy Christopher Locklear resigned via email weeks after Converse police and paramedics found a 16-year-old girl in a home incoherent and unconscious. According to reports, Locklear said she got sick after he gave her drinks. He was suspended and then resigned. Even though this is a Class A misdemeanor, he has still not been criminally charged. This is a story our defenders are following closely, and you can read the latest on KSAT.com. Now to the latest on the pandemic here at home. Our case positivity rate now dropping by about 3% this week. But Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf says more people are getting tested.
Yeah, hospitalizations are also dropping. Still more than 1,400 people remain hospitalized due to COVID. 24 of them are pediatric patients. While more nurses were brought in to help, Mayor Nierenberg says more help is needed.
Healthcare workers across the U.S. are making a desperate plea as they suffer from burnout and fatigue. In Oklahoma City, hospitals are overwhelmed with unvaccinated patients, while in Kentucky, more than 20 hospitals are reporting critical staffing shortages. A new report shows COVID deaths are up 23% nationwide in the last week. The CDC now saying unvaccinated people are 29% more likely to be hospitalized than vaccinated people.
COVID is taking a toll on kids around the country. New data shows children are testing positive for COVID at levels we have not seen since last winter's surge.
Mississippi reported the state's only children's hospital has a record number of pediatric COVID-19 cases. In Florida, so far this school year, among the 15 largest school districts, there are more than 14,000 student and employee COVID-19 cases and nearly 30,000 people quarantined. And for Tennessee-based Valid Health,
more than a third of the positive tests that we're doing now are children under the age of 18. And as that continues to happen, and they're spreading it in schools, some of them are bringing it home to their families.
There is still no approved vaccine for kids under 12, which is why experts say getting adults vaccinated is crucial. Right now, President Biden said forces are on track to leave Afghanistan by the August 31st deadline.
But it will depend on whether the Taliban cooperates. ABC's Faith Abube has more.
This morning, time is running out for thousands of people hoping to escape the chaos in Afghanistan, where America's longest war will officially end in less than 1 week.
We are currently on a pace to finish by August the 31st. The sooner we can finish, the better. Each day of operations brings added risk to our troops.
President Biden is standing by his August 31st deadline to withdraw troops and evacuate both Americans and the Afghans who helped the U.S. mission. Families desperate to leave have been boarding buses under the cover of darkness. Once at the airport gates in Kabul, fewer than 50 yards separate the final Taliban checkpoint and U.S. forces. The Taliban controls who gets into the airport and who does not.
We're waiting to get through, but they're not letting us at the moment.
On Tuesday, the Taliban announced it's now blocking Afghans trying to leave the country from reaching the airport, claiming it wants to protect people from terrorist threats. More than 70,000 people have been evacuated in the past 10 days, including more than 5,400 Americans. But there are new concerns about where some of the evacuees are being taken. ABC News has learned officials in Qatar are privately warning about a growing crisis at facilities where refugees are being held due to a lack of space, food, and water. And as for that August 31st deadline, President Biden says contingency plans are being developed to adjust the timeline if necessary. But the military will have to start packing up and moving out soon if they're going to meet that deadline. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
In other news this morning, House Democrats have passed legislation that would strengthen a landmark civil rights era voting law weakened by Supreme Court over the past decade. It's a step party leaders are touting as progress in their quest to turn back voting restrictions advanced in Republican-led states. But the bill faces dim prospects in the Senate, where Democrats don't have enough votes to overcome opposition from Republicans. Many GOP leaders say the legislation is unnecessary and a quote-unquote power grab. That puts Democrats right back where they started, with a slim chance of passing any voting legislation in time for the 2022 midterm elections.
The U.S. Supreme Court says the Biden administration likely violated federal law in trying to end a Trump-era program that forces people to wait in Mexico while seeking asylum in the U.S. With 3 liberal justices in dissent, the High Court has refused to block a lower court ruling ordering the administration to reinstate the program informally known as Remain in Mexico. It's not clear how many people will be affected and how quickly. Under the lower court ruling, the administration must make a good faith effort to restart the program. There's also nothing preventing the administration from trying again to end that program.
On the U.S. West Coast, a raging wildfire north of Los Angeles causing evacuations and school closures. Crews say the French fire is an imminent threat to parts of the area. The Kernville Union School District is canceling classes, and shelters are open for people fleeing the area. Firefighters say the blaze has burned nearly 20,000 acres, and this time was only about 19% contained.
And time now is 6:40, and it's about 77 degrees out there.
They're keeping San Antonio culture alive one wall at a time. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll introduce you to the organization that's had a hand in most of the murals you see that's coming up in If These Walls Could Talk.
And welcome back at 6:44. So you can barely mention the word mural in San Antonio without including the name of one local organization.
San Antonio Cultural Arts has had a hand in one way or another in most of the paintings you see around town on walls. And if these walls could talk, they tell you the story that Katrina Weber brings us this week.
Every brushstroke in every one of these murals is part of a larger mission to paint a picture of San Antonio culture and celebrate its people.
There's a lot of stories to tell, especially here on the west side, and the way that those stories get told is through the work that we create.
For nearly 30 years, San Antonio Cultural Arts has been telling those stories in this way. Some 60 murals painted by the nonprofit organization so far. The West Side is home to the largest concentration of San Antonio's work, but it's not limited to this side of town. Its artists have painted murals all over the city, from the far northwest side to the east side and in between.
We want murals to reflect the neighborhoods in a positive way, and I think that the best way to do that is to get input from community members themselves.
Each work of art includes more than just ideas from neighbors. They also are able to get their hands dirty. And the invitation to paint usually goes over well.
This mural means a lot to me because I actually helped out in the original piece when I was younger.
Crystal Tomez's childhood experience led to a grown-up job as San Antonio's mural preservation manager. She makes sure murals like the one she helped to create stay around for generations.
We have updated the paints. We now use stuff that has UV protection. We now clear coat it.
Sometimes she also has to iron out rough patches, both on the aging walls themselves and with changing owners of the properties where they're painted, who may not immediately have an eye for this art.
It really does beautify the neighborhoods, and I know we get compliments all the time about our work.
If they have their way, those good words and these good works will continue. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Great stuff, Katrina. Let's go ahead and take a look at our roads for this Wednesday morning. We do have somewhat a little bit of a slowdown here off US 90 at Montgomery. Construction happening out there, road work, we should say, that is leading to some delays. We've been talking about this since yesterday, and it should be wrapping up hopefully pretty soon. But taking a look right now, that road work off US 90 westbound right at Montgomery, and we want to take you to a few stalls that are happening right now. And let's go ahead and head over to 35 southbound at Somerset Road, where we do have a stall reported there. Another stall reported not too far from there, right at Loop 410 eastbound at Morrison Boulevard. Again, it has been a morning of stalls, some slowdowns, but thankfully we have not seen any crashes, which is good news. And we're going to be keeping our fingers crossed, especially as we're getting closer to 7 a.m. And one last look at TransGuide, Mike, moving pretty slow there. Hopefully won't cause any delays for anybody, but what can they expect weather-wise?
Just another hot day, but things will definitely be changing in the next couple of days. First of all, I got to give a big shout out to my dad. It is his birthday today. He is 94 years old. Same as my mom, caught up to her now. They've been married for more than 71 years. So happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Mr. Osterhage.
Thank you very much. All right, beautiful start this morning. Got a couple of clouds hanging around out there right now, and we're obviously going to have a whole lot of sunshine later on today, with still a few of those clouds here and there. And the heat index right now is at 81, so it feels like about 3-4 degrees above what the actual air temperature is, and that's going to be the situation again today. And here's water vapor imagery, and you can sort of make out that clockwise rotation. That's the high, which has been sitting on top of us pretty much, and that's what's helping to heat things up the past week or so, and also really suppressing any rain from developing. Yes, we did have a couple of those sea breeze showers that kind of moved on in here, but what's going to be happening though is this will still be in place, but then work its way off to the north and sort of weaken ever so slightly. So that's going to allow these little waves to come in here from the Gulf of Mexico. And since you don't have a tight lid on things, little waves, those can generate a few showers and even a couple of thunderstorms. So that's why we've got the rain chance now in the forecast tomorrow through the weekend and even into the first part of next week. Also, we're going to be watching this low, which is it hasn't even developed into a low as of yet, but that's the one in the Caribbean. And that is forecast to move into the Gulf of Mexico. This computer model now has it. This was the same model which kept it down to the south of us. And now that and another one has that low working its way off to the east of us. And we would be on the less rainy side of it. So any sort of a system like this, if it indeed becomes a tropical system, the rainiest side is the right-hand side in relation to the direction of travel. So the heaviest rain would be on the east side of that. We would be on the less rainy side, but still having that thing hang around, that would keep a couple of showers in the forecast, at least through the middle part of next week. But the way things are working out right now, and even with that high off to the west of us, that would keep that a little further to the east of us. But That's still nothing is written in stone as far as the forecast with that low, if indeed it does develop, which it looks like it will down there in the Caribbean. So we will definitely be watching that. 89 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature today up to 97. Heat index, of course, into the low hundreds. Smattering of clouds out there. Then tomorrow, we'll have a few showers and thunderstorms scattered about the area. Same thing through the weekend and into next week. Temperatures will be dropping down to roughly normal readings by the weekend and the first part of next week. So, yeah, just one or two of those showers out there. Fingers crossed.
You think we'll have a better handle on what might happen in the Caribbean and Gulf by, say, Friday or Saturday?
Or even tomorrow, if indeed it finally forms up into low. Because right now it's just this disturbance out there, so you can't really get a firm hold on it. But if it does, then the models can handle it better that way. So, yeah.
We'll watch closely. Thank you, Mike.
10 till about 77 degrees.
And the coronavirus pandemic has affected many lives in many ways. Tomorrow on GMSA, we're going to take a look at how it's affecting drug addicts in minority communities.
Outside with Live Cam, we're going to wrap up the newscast and take another look at traffic with Stephen Cavazos after this break.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, the COVID crisis, the latest on the pandemic and the signs of hope. 6 million vaccinations have been given to Americans in the last 7 days. This as the CDC predicts hospitalizations could double in a month, with states like Arkansas now running out of ICU beds and Mississippi and Alabama seeing their deadliest days of the pandemic. That plus much more coming up on GMA. We'll see you all soon.
We are rapidly approaching 5 minutes till 7.
Let's go ahead and take one last look at the roads with Stephen Cavazos.
Good morning, Mark and Stephen. Good morning to you at home. If you're heading out the door, the morning is moving, but for some, it is slowing down. US 90 at Montgomery does show that we do have a little bit of a slowdown there. Some flashing lights because there is some road work that had been taking place overnight. Right now, looks like it is wrapping up, but it is causing some traffic delays. 19 miles per hour, 20 miles, we should say, that traffic is moving at this hour right in those westbound lanes of 90. Taking a look, still have those stalls off I-35 southbound at Somerset, and another one here off Loop 410 eastbound at Morrison Boulevard. Overall, the morning is starting to get a little bit busy with those slowdowns coming in from 35 southbound, but the inbound times still look relatively good so far, Mike. But one last look here, people are going to want to pack their patience, maybe some sunglasses.
Oh, yes, indeed. And of course, don't forget the sunscreen. 77 right now. We're still a few degrees above the average low temperature, and we're going to make it up to the upper 80s at noon. 97 high today. It'll feel like the low hundreds. Plenty of sunshine out there. A sea breeze shower. Yeah, one or two, but we will get slightly better rain chances going into the next few days. Temperatures will slowly go down into more normal readings, mid 90s, and call it a 30% chance, give or take, all the way through the weekend and the first part of next week. So again, not everybody's going to be seeing rain all the time, but odds are when you've got that chance each and every day that you folks will be getting a little bit of rain out there to help out the yard, and we've got to keep watching what may or may not develop down there in the Caribbean.
And that is definitely a big question mark as of this morning.
Yes.
Happy birthday to your dad again.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Have a good day, and we'll see you back here at 9.